Hello Blizzard fans, this is FalconPaladin coming to you with yet another daily Blizzard upload. This is a game between VampyWorm and UiBUK on Coda, the latter edition. VampyWorm sent me this replay just a couple of days ago, and he said it's a really good game. It's a PvT, so I expect to see a lot of new units. And let's introduce the players. In the top right, we have the orange Terran player, UiBUK, or UiBUK, I'm not entirely sure, also from Team Ascension. Again, Team Ascension is a really good StarCraft 2 clan. They only accept the best of the best, and it shows. In the top left of Coda, the latter edition, we have the blue Protoss player, our hero. It is VampyWorm, also from Team Ascension, but you probably know that from the previous videos I've cast of his games. I'm not sure if I said top right or bottom right, but in the bottom right we have the orange Terran player. Forgot to speed it up. Legacy of the Void games shortened the early game by quite a bit, but it's still quite boring. There we go. Refinery first, Barracks second. I think this is a Reaper opening. We'll have to wait and see. VampyWorm going for the 2 gas opener with the gateway. Going to see a Cybercore probably, and yep, 2 gas in each of those Vespene geysers. And what that's going to tell us is we're probably going to see Adepts here. There's a Cybercore, second gate's going to come down in just a minute and get that Adept opening out there. And the answer to Adept openings is not Marines, it is going to be Marauders. This scouting probe doing such a good job, being super annoying, getting all that scouting information off. And until this Marine pops, or it's a Reaper, Reaper might choose to kill this probe, or yes, going to choose to kill the probe. That is precious seconds that it cannot be out there attacking or scouting off the Protoss base. So well played there by the probe. Got the scouting information off and also decoyed the Reaper away. So again, the answer to your Adepts is Marauders. It's not Marines. Or I guess tanks are pretty good too. So we'll have to see what the answer is going to be. Let's follow this Marauder and his little jaunt around the base. Going to try to get some probes. Mothership Core is out though. Get the heck out, Reaper. No. Yeah, Reaper gets out of there alive. Can't really get much scouting information off. It is faster than a Mothership Core, but it does take hits from the air that it just really doesn't want to do. Using both of his little pistols there on that expansion Nexus. Doesn't really do any damage whatsoever, and he is forced to head on back home, poor guy. Didn't do much at all, to be honest. And yeah, there's the command center coming on up. He is actually turning it into an orbital command. UiBUK is, I'm going to call him UiBUK, that's probably easier to say. UiBUK is making it into an orbital command here on in his main, so it doesn't feel safe enough to drop it into here yet. Probably just going to make some mules off it, make some SCVs off it, and then drop it out. What is this going to be here? Hellions, perhaps? Hellbats? Hellbats, I think, are a little too slow for Adepts, but here we have... Oh, I am such a liar. It is actually 3 workers on this gas, 2 on this one, and it's going to be an Oracle opening. So, so harassment is met with harassment, as the Reaper is followed up by an Oracle from VampyWorm. So let's see if he can get anything off here, any of his attacks that he really needs to get about 6 or 7 kills, preferably workers, and really to make this Oracle worth it, because in the late game it's just not that fantastic at all. There's already a Viking coming out though. It's a little ways off though. Okay, here we go. Pull everybody, get him out of there. And okay, so he used, what did he just do there? Back it up, 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 back it up. Under effect of what? Disabled. Hang on. Come back. What did that thing just do? Stasis ward. Places a cloaked stasis ward at the target location. The ward traps them in stasis for 21 seconds, and there they are. Trapped units cannot be attacked or affected by abilities. So this basically denies pretty much all mining here for 21 seconds, which is pretty darn good, I have to admit. Getting chased away by now this Viking. But it did force a transfer way down here. We are actually oversaturated here at the natural, which is okay. We're transferring them back. Widow mines are burrowing. Did I hear a Widow mine somewhere? Yes, ready for a swoop in from that Oracle. Gonna catch it with the Widow mine, hopefully, and actually that might be what happens here. Here we come again. The Oracle coming on in. Enough energy again for that stasis ward once more. Revelation is here as well. And Pulsar Beam is the one that I expected to see, but instead we got Stasis Ward. So, oh, Widow Mine hit, bam! Takes that Oracle down. 1 shot, 1 kill, says the Widow Mine, as the pieces fall to the ground and disappear into the dust. So, excellent placement there by UiBUK, recognizing the threat of an Oracle coming on in from the left side, placing a Widow Mine there accordingly and getting the kill. Meanwhile, VampyWorm not doing much back at home. He has his expansion up. He's not doing anything with the starport at this point. Pretty much just making workers. He is making an observer out of this Robo facility. and a third Nexus as well. So a little bit gutsy. Again, I had Walnut tell me once, you don't want to take that third until after the Terran has taken his third, because 2 base attacks are just so strong and can do so much damage to you that you need the units you would otherwise have spent on this to defend at home. So either way, we're actually going to see a bit of a drop here. We do have 4 Hellions, probably changing into Hellbats. I have to assume those are better for drops than Hellions are. We'll have to see what happens there. However, are we going to actually catch a sight of this VampyWorm? I don't entirely know. But let's go ahead and get a follow there on this medevac. Going past the corpse of whatever kind of dragon thing that was. Dropping on in. 1, 2, 3, 4. And are we transforming? No, just going to get right on in. Start killing them workers. Doing so much destruction. The photon overcharge does get off pretty much instantly. All these Hellions are going to die, but at what cost? If we look, it's basically going to be 12 workers and 4 Hellions. 12 workers dead is a lot here at the 6-minute mark. That is massive. And right now it is 44 to 41 harvesters in favor of UiBUK. So I guess that was worth it for him. I guess 4 Hellions is pretty much just minerals, and I don't know how much minerals really matters to Terran at this stage in the game. He's going to be wanting, well, I guess he's using a lot of minerals here with these Marines and these Hellions, but what's his late game going to be? It's going, oh, okay, he is making Liberators. Okay, we are seeing some Legacy of the Void units here, a lot more than I possibly may have expected, but either way, here comes the Liberator. It does have the anti-ground mode here that does require research at the tech lab, but it deploys an anti-ground mode. It's basically a siege tank from the air and is pretty devastating against Zerg. I don't know how effective it is against Protoss, but I think we might see in this game, because Liberators are good against air as well, but there's just not much air for them to kill right now from VampyWorm. There's nothing really for it to harass. And what do we have? A Disruptor coming out. I knew we would see that eventually. Disruptors being made in the Robo facility just because they are so good against everything on the ground. They can pretty much take all these guys out with one hit. Oh, popping back on in. Pulsar Beam activating, taking out all of these guys. Get out of there, Reaper. You're going to die. Hellions, run home as well if you can. Getting chased around by this Oracle. But no, it does actually have 5 kills. 5 kills? Where did it get those other kills? I don't know. Either way, drop boosting, and I did catch that by UiBUK. Trying to see what he can do, but there are pylons, there are units all along the edges of this map. The medevac cannot find an open space to drop. Observer parked right here, unnoticed by our Terran player. UiBUK does not know that it's there. We're going to try to kill workers here. This would be a good spot to do it. But no, the medevac actually decides to head out instead. Here come the Liberators. Are they going to set up that anti-ground mode? Has that been researched or not? I do not know. There's a tech lab. There's a tech lab, and dun, 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 dun. You know, I think it might have been researched. We'll have to see. Either way, Liberators, boy, there are 5 of them. That is pretty darn good. We have seen some rage from certain players in my replays against this particular unit. We'll have to see if that's going to be the case in this game or not. They're kind of checking things out. Is there a hidden base over here? Or are we just going out of the way to make sure no observers see us? I think that's more like, why are they just parking? Liberators are good. We should probably use them. I don't know why they're being parked here at the bottom, UiBUK, unless you are hiding them for some reason. These are no Hellbats. Again, much better against Zealots and the like, which is what you're going to see from Protoss. Either way, Reaper coming on out, takes the Zelnanga Watchtower, says, is anything coming? And there is not. Both players just kind of sitting back on their haunches, macroing up. This third base has been up for a while for Vampy. That is a huge benefit to him. Third base just now being established by UiBUK at 68 to 57 harvesters. A pretty big economic advantage here for the Protoss player right now. As you can see, the number of minerals he has coming in is a lot more. Where the heck are we transferring workers? We are transferring SCVs. That's why the minerals per minute number dropped there so precariously for our Terran player. But either way, both players, a 4th base now coming down from VampyWorm. Everybody just kind of hanging on out. An Oracle coming in again. Remember what I said about Oracles not being that good in the mid to late game? I think that was a lie, because the Oracle is coming back around, kind of just swooping. What is happening here? Where are those Liberators? The Liberators came all the way back home. Okay, I don't think they did anything at all. No kills. I didn't notice really. There is a kill on this Liberator. What did it get? Did it get the Observer? I think it might have gotten the Observer that was hanging out here. But either way, Hellions popping on into this base, which I think is officially the 3rd base. Yep. But no, Stalkers are here to take it down. They are not being microed at all. Not excellent micro to speak of. They're being chased down and harassed. They could have gotten into the mineral line and probably killed a lot more workers, but instead they chose not to. And here come Hellions into this mineral line that does not exist. There are no workers whatsoever, so they say, oops, we're going to get back on out and try to save our own skins. More and more Liberators being made now. How many of those are there? 8 Liberators now. That is pretty intense. 8 Liberators and Hellbats. So a Hellbat Liberator composition. I guess this is good against ground. This is good against air. But here comes the big push. A whole ton of stalkers, a few disruptors, and a single oracle along with a mothership core in case they need to recall the heck out of there. Let's see what happens. There's the anti-ground mode being kicked in against all these ramps. If those stalkers try to come in, they are in for a world of hurt. Look at this area that is being covered right now. Warp Prism popping on in, trying to see a place where it can go to do some mischief. And is it going to be noticed? Yes, it does get noticed. It is in range of that missile turret, unfortunately. And I think the Liberators, yes, they're very fast. They are faster than the Warp Prism, and it gets killed. Warp Prism does not effectively execute its mission and is forced to die in shame. Very, very sad to see that, my friend, but perhaps your next Warp Prism buddy will do a better job. I have to assume there's another one coming because Protoss players love their Warp Prisms. Either way, production tab shows upgrades pretty much coming up here. 2 more Stargates being made in response to those Liberators. I think maybe Carriers might be good against Liberators. Let's see what they have here with their attacks. Anti-ground weapon right now. But are there any of these that actually have... Yeah, not this yet. Missile launcher, 7 damage, 2 attacks, range 5. So 14 damage per attack isn't a whole lot for carriers. It would take a while to kill them. They have a lot of hit points. So I don't know if carriers will be effective or not against Liberators. We might see in this game, though. We are seeing Void Rays, though. Void Rays might be okay. I really don't know. We'll have to see. What is this? Did we just get a drop in there? I think we just got a drop in there. How many SCVs actually died? 4 total have died, not that many. But here comes the push. Liberators coming on in, dropping that anti-ground mode and forcing the Protoss player out. It does not want to be anywhere near this place when this happens. Cannot go in this orange area whatsoever. It does take a while for them to back out of that, so it kind of slows them up. Just like siege mode, you have to come in and out of the siege mode. Let's zoom out just a little bit to see this attack a little bit more clearly. And here we go again. This area, the Stalkers pushing right on in to this anti-ground mode, trying to snipe down the Liberators before they all die. I don't know how effective this is going to be. The Void Rays doing huge damage to those Ravens. Hunter Seeker Missile actually coming in to kill one of the Void Rays. The Liberators going back and forth from anti-ground to anti-air mode. All of the Stalkers are dead. Mothership core dies as well. The Stalkers are forced to retreat and they all die. Anti-ground mode here again, killing so many workers, doing tons and tons of damage. All the Stalkers on the ground are being killed by these Hellbats, but they're trying to snipe down Liberators while they can. One does actually go down, and this poor Stalker is left all alone at this point. Carriers in response, though, from VampyWorm, and here we go. Carriers versus Liberators is what we wanted to see, and I think the answer is, look at this, it doesn't do, I mean, I guess a little bit of damage. Each one of these Liberators doing a little bit of damage to these guys. Already has gotten through their shields. We are cloaked on these Banshees, trying to snipe down all those Stalkers as we can. But yeah, these 2 carriers, even without a full complement of interceptors, did manage to kill quite a few Liberators there and force back the attack. It is 60 to 63 Harvesters. In the end, this attack is cleaned up. These Stalkers are still actually doing pretty darn well for themselves, I would have to say, chasing these Banshees out of here. And yeah, there we go. So the Stalkers are still alive. They're very proud of the work they did there. I guess they don't have many kills, but their predecessors certainly did. So here we are with Vikings, Banshees, and Hellions making a planetary fortress over here at this base. I have to assume it's a little bit farther away from the rest of the bases that are kind of clustered in this corner here. A push-up from these Stalkers and these Carriers. There are a full complement of Interceptors there now. There are 6 Interceptors on these guys. Let's see if we can follow them in battle. Actually, that's not what we want to do. Let's zoom out and see how effective they are. They're doing okay. Did they lose any Interceptors in that battle? Yes, it looks like they may have. How many total? 6 total. Yeah, it is 6. What is this 8 that keeps showing up, though? Can they have... Must have fewer than 8 Interceptors. Okay, so... Yeah. Either way, here we come with a ton of Vikings, and the Carriers get melted instantly. All these Stalkers on the ground trying to kill what they can, but the Hellbats and the Banshees just ripping through them. The entire army gets cleaned up. A small attack over here with some Zealots do manage to take down a missile turret and a ton of workers here, I think. How many workers have died? 18 total workers have died now for the Terran player. That was actually a pretty darn good attack, if I do say so myself. Push on in again with more and more Carriers. VampyWorm feels like Carriers are the answer. Everybody expanding like crazy at this point. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 bases for the Protoss player, and UiBUK. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 bases there. A big push from this mech army. Banshees trying to do the damage on the ground that they need. The Vikings are kind of useless here There we go. Now landing to help with the DPS against these guys. They need to pop back up though so they can kill these carriers. And yes, they do manage to do so. They pop up, get into the air, and instantly melt 2 of the carriers. Another one possibly might die, but they are forced to retreat. Instead, the Vikings are here, but they're getting chased away by the carriers, which do have a longer range. And if Vikings are in retreat, they can get sniped down pretty darn easily. Another stasis field actually going down on these Hellions. Nowhere for them to go, and they get caught and blown up as well. Another push over here from the Terran army. This is highly unconventional, dropping these Vikings for a lot of the DPS. The probes are trying to be pulled, and yes, they are all going to live. A bit of a misclick there, I would have to assume, from our friend UiBUK. But in the end, he does actually get the Nexus and then try to retreat with the Stalkers providing fire to them as they try to get the heck out of there. So bases being sniped off on both ends here. Actually, I think mostly just the Nexus have died. I don't think our Terran players actually lost a single base at this point, but that is okay. Carriers, again, man, Vikings just do so well. When they are microed correctly and attacking the carrier itself instead of the interceptors, they're pretty fantastic. And here we go. This planetary fortress might die with just a single carrier. And another attack here from some Hellions, getting a bit of a run by. Stasis field catches them where they stand. They cannot attack. Can they be attacked? No, they cannot be attacked. So trying to get some good micro position to attack them as soon as they pop out of that stasis field, or that stasis ward. Is that what it is called? Oh, man. Either way, heading back on out. Where is my Oracle? Is there an Oracle still on the field? And no, it does not look like there is. It's mostly just carriers at this point and a few observers. Eventually, all the Hellions do get cleaned up. Both players playing pretty low on the macro level here. 128, 132 to 107 supply. Nobody really even close to max out at this point. Another observer, command center with the upgrade here on its way on over to land here. Pretty much our friend UiBUK wants to have as many bases as humanly possible against this Protoss army. It looks like Vampy is kind of stuck on these 4 bases. He doesn't really dare to take that one. He doesn't want to take that one as well. This one's been taken already. There's an orbital command up and running. We're going to see some drops. Yes, there goes a single drop for that mule. And VampyWorm just kind of sitting in the middle trying to shore up his resources. He is ahead on both worker count and supply at this point, but I don't know if it's going to be enough. This interesting composition of Liberators, Vikings, Hellbats, and Banshees appears to be pretty darn good. Again, ooh, just a 2-shot. 2-shot damage, 93. Okay, 93 damage from the anti-ground weapon. Wow, that thing hits like a truck. I can't actually imagine why certain players are complaining about this. Either way, a Banshee hit squad heading on up to make sure there's not a base up here from VampyWorm, and it turns out there is not, so nothing to worry about there. But the Banshees are away. Are we going to run up into this anti-ground denial field or not? Yes, we are. We jump right on up into it, try to snipe down the Liberators. First of all, carriers coming right on in. I don't know if that was a great decision because the Vikings are able to kill them very, very quickly. Liberators snipe them down as well. The Stalkers are alive, but this anti-ground attack is doing so much damage to the ones that stay inside the circle. They are pretty much instantly dying, trying to kill those landed Vikings. The Archon here with 2 kills, also chasing people away. We might actually manage to kill this particular base, sniping down the Banshees immediately, and then go to town on these workers. VampyWorm might actually be able to win this game if he does well in this particular attack. He is up 56 to 41 Harvesters. He pretty much decimated the Terran army and forces a liftoff here. Are we going to be able to kill it? Microing very, very well. Stutter stepping to burn it down before it can actually escape. And there it goes. It actually dies. Missile turret trying to snipe down interceptors as they come on over. But it looks like UiBUK has different ideas on his mind. And oh no, the fusion core does actually go down as well, canceling the anti-ground area attack. Instead, choosing to move it on over here to defend this choke point. I have to assume that battlecruisers have joined the battle. Battlecruisers doing a lot of damage. The anti-ground forcing the units away again. It's not that they do a whole ton of damage necessarily, but just forcing units to move instead of attacking can be ginormous in favor of the Terran player using the Liberator unit. And there we go. Battlecruisers have arrived. They are +3 on the plating, +2 on the laser batteries for ground and air, so pretty darn dangerous are these battle cruisers. They're not actually as strong as you would think. Now, they don't have a lot of hit points. What do they have? 500 hit points, which is not as many as you would expect for something called a flying fortress. But Nevertheless, they are very dangerous. They're a little bit slow as well, but they do have the new attack. What is it called? New tactical jump ability. After 4 seconds, warps the target to the target location. Battlecruiser is invulnerable while warping, and it does not require vision to see. So you could warp those in like right here and start killing stuff immediately without actually taking any damage whatsoever. Hellions doing a huge job on these transferring workers. Only one of them, though, unfortunately. And it is actually able to... Yeah, they're still chasing workers. More and more probes are dying. And VampyWorm calls the GG. UiBUK is victorious. So, I guess that final attack was just a little bit too much. All the Stalkers died. The Battlecruisers were on their way along with all these Vikings. And these Liberators that were still alive. They did have low hit points. But, again, still alive is all that matters in StarCraft 2. So, pretty interesting game. Some interesting interactions I had not seen before. Thank you, VampyWorm, for sending this in. I do appreciate it. And as always, this has been FalconPaladin. Thank you so much for watching. You can find me on Twitch, Twitter, and Facebook, /FalconPaladin. And until next time, as always, you take care of yourself.